Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to another video in the Level Up series. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get discovered, heard, more streams as an upcoming artist. Basically, how to level up your streams. Time to level up, go! Now, in case you're wondering, yes, I am wearing a shirt just to look more official so that you guys might actually listen to what I have to say. Now, as always, this video is sponsored by Element Store, my sample pack store. If you click the link down below, you can save 20% if you just use code YouTube at checkout. We have a lot of sample packs out right now, especially aimed at electronic producers. So make sure you go to Element Store, check it out. Now, as usual, I do have a preface for the video. Now, in my career, I have gained more than 100 million streams across platforms. Some of them have been label releases, some of them has been on my own independent label, Fabian Masur Music, which I have a distribution deal through AWAL in the US. So, I have gained a lot of streams, I have released on a lot of labels, and I do have a lot of experience through my career, which has lasted more than 10 years in the music industry. Now, let's jump into the video and let me give you guys some tips on how to level up your streams. Time to level up, go! So for tip number one, we're going to be talking about artist profiles and apps within the streaming services. So basically, Spotify for artists, Apple Music for artists, Pandora, AMP, and all these different platforms, services. Now, Ash will also read in the individual guidelines to each platform. It can help a lot if you go and submit your track through the actual music service. So for example, when I'm releasing a new track, I always go into my Spotify for artists and I pitch my track through their system to playlisting. So basically, I do a little write-up about the track, the genre, the playlist I've been on previously, stuff like that, and I submit it through the Spotify for Artists app. Now, this will help you get on playlists, this will help you get heard, and sometimes you might not hit the playlist you want, but sometimes actually Spotify listens to your music. This might be suitable for this particular playlist, and then all of a sudden you get a lot of plays through their editorial playlists. So basically, I will always encourage you guys to look through the artist profiles on the streaming services and do whatever you can do to pitch your songs to the editors of the different music streaming services. Now, the second thing I want to be talking about here is a very important thing, which you might not think is relevant to getting heard and getting discovered, but it actually is. We're talking about branding. We're talking about when you release a song, do you have a cohesive release strategy in terms of branding? Do you have a cool looking profile picture? Do you have a cool looking artwork? Do you have stories on your Instagram? Do you have a cool profile picture on streaming services? Do you actually have a cohesive brand built around the release or your brand in general that makes you look like a cohesive artist and not just having random pictures all over, a picture of your dog as a recent post on Instagram? Now, I'm talking about actually branding yourself as an artist, having a cohesive structure of your posting and your visual profile on your different social media and music streaming services. So that can be very important, especially if the Spotify playlist curators or some A&Rs from labels or to go look at your social media and your music streaming service profiles. Do you actually look professional? This is super important. It's something I didn't really think about myself until my manager reminded me, like, yo, with every release, you gotta make sure all platforms are looking 100% sharp. So this is definitely important. Time to level up, go! Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is DMing people, direct contact, emails, stuff like that. Now, this is hugely important. It's something that has had a big impact in my career. Now, when I have a release, I always send it out to people in my network via email, DM, stuff like that. And I send it out to playlist curators as well. You can find that on Spotify if you just find some cool playlists. Most of them in the description will have an email that you can submit your music to. Now, when you're growing as an artist, you will also grow a network of people who actually respond to you when you send your stuff out. So take advantage of that, grow a network, and just send your stuff out to people. So for example, when I have a release, I send it out to a lot of people like, hey, I have a new track dropping in 2 weeks. Here's a private link to it. Have a listen, let me know if this might be something for your playlist. Or maybe your SoundCloud profile or DM it to private persons like, yo, do you like this one? I would really appreciate it if you posted it on your story or reposted it on SoundCloud or Audius or stuff like that. But basically, don't be too spammy. Like if a person doesn't reply to you after you send a few messages, don't keep messaging, obviously. Should make sense. Don't spam people. We all hate that, of course. Now, a very important thing that we also got to touch on is marketing and submission sites. Now, let's start with marketing. What do I usually do? Now, I have a lot of different experience with marketing. I've done campaigns on Instagram, Facebook. I've done TikTok campaigns. I've done like meme site campaigns where I actually pay people to use your music in meme videos, which is kind of weird, I know, but it actually did gain some traction from it. I've also done physical marketing. For my EP recently, I got a banner on Times Square, which was crazy. I've also had PR agencies hired. I worked with The Music Elk, which is a company from the UK. I've also worked with a bunch of American PR companies. So I've had my fair share of marketing in my career. Now, in terms of marketing for you as an upcoming artist, what do you want to do? Now, what I think you should do is always look at the free options first. How can you actually do some free marketing for your release? Now, this can be a bit tricky, but you could make some meme videos yourself, post it up on different profiles. Now, you could make some videos yourself. You could do some TikTok videos. You can do stuff like that. Or you could basically trade playlisting or reposts on music streaming services or social media, basically. We got to tread carefully here. And I would also urge you guys to watch out for like the scam paid marketing sites that promises you like, hey, we're going to give you 10,000 plays on Spotify through a playlist and you only have to pay $10, whatever. Don't go to those sites, to be honest. The plays you get from those, probably not gonna matter much, to be honest. Now, the most powerful free marketing tools still to this date, I think, are blogs. We do still have some cool music blogs that actually write about music that they like and curate themselves. So it is actually still a possibility to email your music out to blogs and hope to get some coverage. To be honest, this is still something that has elevated my career this year in 2021. Of course, we can talk about the whole internet era, blogs dying and all that stuff, but still, send it out to blogs. It's a free resource that might end up with you getting a lot more plays and playlisting on your tracks. We do have to talk about the options of submitting your tracks to playlist via submission sites and submitting your tracks to labels via something like Label Radar, for example. This is something that I honestly do not know a lot about, but it can be beneficial if you're an upcoming artist that are looking for labels to actually release your stuff. But as always, I encourage you guys to look into the actual site or company that you're submitting your music to so you know it's not a scam. Now, also for the marketing and submission thing here, I want to talk about creating your own playlists on music platforms. Now, I know a lot of artists who have actually succeeded in creating a playlist, like for example, a gym playlist that actually managed to get a lot of followers. And now they actually own a playlist with a lot of followers that they can just put their own music on every time they release a new track. Now, this is a brilliant marketing strategy for music streaming services, especially if you've managed to actually create a playlist with a lot of followers. Now, I've seen artists actually have like 100,000 followers on their random car-based boosted playlists. And now, every time they release a track, they can put their track on that playlist and gain lots of thousands of plays. Now, this is a very cool but weird marketing strategy. But if you actually manage to succeed in that, it will work and it will be real plays that actually might end up getting you blown up as an artist. Now, moving on to something that's actually quite underrated, interacting with people and the community. Now, for example, I am an electronic music producer, so I tend to go on Discord, Reddit, other people's streams, and just generally like to discover new artists in the community, interact with the people who listens to my music a lot. I do live streams, I do respond to all DMs, I am active on Reddit in the trap section. I do different stuff within the community of my music genre to actually be a part of it. Like, I actively want to be a part of the electronic music community. So I know a lot of you guys watching my channel are in the electronic music scene, but for example, if you were a country pop artists try to actually interact with the country pop community, whether that be on servers on Discord, Reddit, streams, other people's communities, stuff like that. Just basically engage with the people who are actually interested in the same field of music as you are. Now, throughout the years, I've actually built a little community myself on my social media platforms, my YouTube, my Instagram streams, stuff like that. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Like, actually build a community while interacting with the major community of your music field. And for the last tip here, and speaking about communities, know your audience. Now, we're talking about being visible on different platforms and actually knowing where people listen to your music most. Now, of course, you want to be present on all streaming services. Of course, your distributor takes care of the major ones usually, and you yourself might be responsible for uploading on other platforms like SoundCloud, Audius, Audiomack. So, of course, you want to be visible and have your music uploaded on all these different platforms. This will, of course, enable you to get as many streams as possible and to get discovered. Now, of course, I also encourage you guys to get your music on TikTok because you never know when a song is going to blow up through TikTok. This can be a huge boost in your career if you actually do have a song that blows up on TikTok. And this is very, very 2021. I have a very good example of this recently. Now, I did a co-release with Warner Music here in Scandinavia, in the Nordic territory, and they actually told me that a streaming platform called UC were actually responsible for like 30-something% of all streams in Denmark. I do have a decent amount of streams in Denmark, but I wasn't aware of this at all. So actually, they enabled my music to be available on that platform and basically enabled me to get more streams. So for this tip, I actually encourage you guys to actually know your audience, know where people listen to your music, and just be visible on all possible services where people can actually hear and discover your music. So yeah, guys, those are going to be my tips on how to level up your streams in 2021. Now, of course, it does come down to luck a little bit, but that doesn't mean that you can't do anything possible to get heard and get more streams. So of course, I encourage you guys to do all the tips in this video and more to get heard as an upcoming artist. Now, as a closing thought for this video, I want to encourage you guys to keep working even though you don't get a lot of streams on your music. I know it can kill the encouragement to make music a little bit when you don't get heard, but I struggled with this for many years. Like, I released music on SoundCloud back in the days, never got any streams, never got heard. It took me a couple of years before people actually went to listen to my music. Now, I wish I had the tools available that we have right now in 2021. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that you shouldn't let the lack of streaming or getting discovered kill your lust to make music. I'm still very much a supporter of the 10,000 hour thing. Like, the more you can actually put in work on both a technical and a personal level as a producer and artist, the bigger the chance you actually have of getting streams and getting heard and getting discovered. So don't let the lack of streams actually kill your motivation to make music. Keep at it, keep grinding, keep learning, keep progressing, and keep getting better. Now, if you have any good tips to actually get more streams that I forgot to mention in the video, make sure to comment down below and let me know. Also, if you have any questions whatsoever, let me know and I'll be happy to answer. Now, this has been another video in the Level Up series sponsored by Element Store. Click the link down below, save 20%, and of course, click a like and comment on the video for the algorithm. See you on the next one. Peace.